Hi, on today's episode of Purpose and Profit, I have the absolute honor of welcoming someone who has not only shaped her own incredible journey, but has played a huge role in mine as well. Ashli is more than just a guest today. She's my long term mentor and coach, and someone whose wisdom has deeply impacted both my business and my personal growth. Ashli started her career in education, leading with heart and intention in the classroom. She later stepped into real estate and became one of the original creative transaction coordinators, bringing clarity and structure to some of the most complex and chaotic spaces in real estate. Now she's in her element, using her gifts and systems, processes, and leadership to coach others to elevate their operations and scale their businesses with intention. She's not just teaching what to do, she's building legacies through the businesses she's helping redefine. If you've ever felt the pull to grow but needed a roadmap and someone to believe in you, this conversation is going to resonate in a big way. Thank you, Ashli, and welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, can I have you be my hype person every day? Can I just call you while I'm getting ready and you can help me up
Yes.
for the day? Thank you. Oh my gosh, I feel like, wow, I have done something. There's got to be something there. So thank you so much. That was that was the best part of my day. We can just end the podcast right now.
Well, it is well deserved, and my voice isn't as cool as Morgan Freeman's, but
Oh,
for sure, it's well deserved. So, tell us a little bit about. I said a lot about you, but tell us a little bit about your origins and how you got where you are today.
well, before I was making business plans or any type of system strategy, I was teaching my kids at home. I was teaching homeschool to little tiny children in Arizona. And it makes me laugh realizing that that was literally like 3 years ago, maybe like three and a half. I don't know what day it is. So, it could be three and a half. But it just makes me laugh that I didn't have any business experience. I didn't have any real estate experience. I didn't have any of this. I literally was just like managing my children and managing a home and somehow ended up here. But I mean, I think that's also like part of the beauty of people stepping into new spaces and new realms is that it really doesn't matter where you came from. It really does not matter where you came from. It only matters like why you want to be there and how bad you want it. Because stepping into new spaces gives you the opportunity to almost reinvent yourself. It's a little bit of a painful process sometimes, but if that's the direction you want to go and you see like the light at the end of that tunnel, like you should go do that. And just sitting there trying to define your future from your past is, when you hear about a past like mine, where it's just like, before this, I wasn't doing any of that. And now here I am doing this. It's like, it's silly where I'm like, oh, if I had just told myself I wasn't capable of doing these things because of my past, we wouldn't be here. So sometimes you just have to ignore that and just move forward anyways.
Absolutely, like redefining who you are as you go.
Yeah, you have to reinvent yourself. It's like I have a running joke with my assistant because I do really, really frequent updates to my time blocking for my management of my time and everything like that. And we joke so much because I think I'm on like version 4.7 or something like that. And I only change the number when it's a really, really massive one. So I've massively changed it 4 times, but I keep doing these little tweaks to it. And that's exactly how it is when you step into new stuff is that number one, you're not going to know how to do everything right out of the gate. If you think that's going to be you, you're not setting yourself up for success. Like it's a new thing and tweaking things and having to adjust in real time. That's part of learning. That's like, it's not failing, it's learning. You got to shift your mindset on that. But it's also fun to like when you start to get to that point where you're taking pride in the point ones and the point twos and the 3.5s or whatever, is that's just you leveling up and reinventing yourself as you're leveling up is normal. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
What caused you to want to, I mean, so you went from homeschooling to being a successful TC with a business to, growing that into systems and operations, and you just kind of keep going. What made you sit back one day and say, this is going to change? Like, I'm just going to keep going forward.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had like a really inspiring story to be like, this was the moment. But I mean, it wasn't that. It was a dinner table conversation with my husband because we had walked away from our house, we had walked away from his job. Like we walked away from stuff because we were like, we're going to be real estate investors. We have no idea how to do it. We don't have anyone in our family who's ever done it, but we want more for our life. And if we keep going on the path that we were on, we knew that we were just going to end up where our parents were. And I love my parents and they've done amazingly. And so is my husband's parents. But it's when you want something that you have never had before, you drastic measures sometimes. And I mean, it was definitely a very radical decision to walk away from everything, but we stepped into this space with intention. And for us and our personalities, we had to cut all the things so that we could be like fully committed. And with 3 young children, that was really scary actually. But at the moment we did it, my husband was like, "I'm going to go figure this out." And I was like, "Go you. I got the kids in the house. You go do that. I got you." And then a couple months into it realizing after engaging with all this stuff that there were things we just didn't know because we never engaged with it before. And we were at that crucial moment in time where we're like, okay, we either go back to doing a W 2. That was one option. Go back to doing a W 2, which is not bad. It was just it was a really difficult decision because we had committed to that such a deep level that it felt like we were betraying ourselves. Right. And then, so we could go back to doing a W 2, and we were living in my parents' basement at the time. So it was just a hard decision. And then the other decision was that I try doing transaction coordination work because we've been hearing about these elusive TC people who are introverted and don't like to socialize. And it fit a lot of my characteristics and my traits as just a person. And so we're like, well, we could try that or we could go back to doing a W 2. And I wasn't ready to give up on us trying to like create this different future. And so I was like, I want to try. And it was literally just a last ditch effort of we're running out of savings. I don't want to go back to a W 2 unless we absolutely have to. So I'm going to jump in and just see what happens. It was very scary. But the good news is that urgency in situations like that, it's such a powerful ally to have that level of urgency. Like you can't recreate that.
Right.
And so I basically stepped into this role within like a week of deciding we were going to do that. My husband and I completely switched roles. Like he became the home manager and he started homeschooling the kids, like, because I was like, I got to go figure out how to do this business thing. I can't take care of that right now. So we completely switched roles. It felt like it was overnight. And then within a week or two, we had our new LLC, we had our new name, we had a logo, and then I stepped into this space with just a couple of contacts and I approached it with some extreme intentionality saying, I don't have 6 months to learn how to do this. I have 6 days. Because it was like things financially were that tight. And I was like, I don't have time to mess around. We have to figure this out. And within a few days, I realized, whoa, there is some level of clarity here, but not a ton. And then it just escalated it even more for me where I'm like, okay, now I really do have to figure this out by myself because I don't have a lot of support systems to lean on at the time. And then I just started rallying friends, being like, I'm learning how to TC. Do you want to learn with me? Let's get on a Zoom and I'll tell you everything I do wrong. But that was like basically how it started. It's just like I saw what was there. It wasn't enough for what I needed. So I went and made the stuff that I needed and I tried to bring as many people along on that crazy ride as I could. And here we are. I literally feel like that's the story. End of story. That's what happened.
It was like the wild, wild west back then, and everyone was like trying to figure it out. And it's such a gift that everyone has top tier now to kind of lean into, and like that community and that support. And it was just not how it was in the beginning.
No, I get like emotional. I get like emotional thinking about how it was in the beginning because it was so lonely and it was so like, I don't want to say overwhelming because it seems really intense, but like it did feel overwhelming because it was lonely and because there wasn't like a ton of organized education on how to do it and there wasn't any guides and you felt like you were kind of just like tossing spaghetti at the wall most of the time, seeing what would stick and what wouldn't stick because there wasn't anything there.
Absolutely.
So
Seeing
I'm
what
glad.
a title attorney would talk to you on the phone for a couple hours so you could ask all your questions or
Yeah.
your so I love this. So tell me about the space you're in right now and where you're going.
Oh my gosh. We were talking about this before we hit record. But I don't know sometimes, like, and I think there's a lot of beauty in that actually. If you can be okay with not knowing sometimes, like just sitting in your stuff for a minute and being like, what is this? What is this exactly? Where does this go? What can we do? I can tell you, so we went to Squat Up a couple weeks ago. Don't know if anybody knows that. Squat Up's amazing. So much fun. Get to meet all my friends in person. But after Squat Up, I realized that I needed to go back to my roots, which was I really just wanted to I really just wanted to rally people up again, right? And I've been dabbling with coaching and I've been dabbling with these consultation calls and all this stuff and I really like doing them, but the thing that really inspires me and lights my fire is helping other people on the path I've already had to go. I'm just like, even if it's a path I didn't even realize I was on. As soon as I realize I'm on it, I'm just like, dang, I need to turn around and like help some of these other people up this path because they don't know that there's that pothole right there. And that bush is a prickly bush. And I know because I fell in that bush and I don't want anybody to fall in that bush. And so I think right now the season I'm in is just a season of assistance, I guess, like turning around and like giving people a hand up and creating resources and support and education that helps other people however I can help them, and one particular aspect that is just such a deep part of what I'm trying to achieve over the next, I don't know, probably the next year is there are so many leaders in our industry, in our communities, in our groups that just pour into other people. And I want to be one of those people that pours into them. You know? Cuz it's a lot to be constantly trying to help other people. It's it's very fueling in a lot of ways, but it's also very sneaky in other ways of like if I'm not showing up as the best version of me, am I really helping people? If I'm not showing up as the best version of me, is my business really thriving? If my business isn't thriving and I don't have this like behind the scenes stuff that gives me credibility as a leader, am I a good leader? You know? It's like you ever hear people talk about where it's like you don't want to take advice from somebody that doesn't have what you want, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And this is the part that's so hard with being a leader sometimes is that sometimes when you choose to be a leader, you're giving up things that are the thing that's supposed to give you the credibility to be able to help other people. And so that's like my mission right now is I'm just like I want to go and I want to reinvest in all of these amazing leaders who help things move at such a accelerated pace because somebody needs to. So, I don't know. I don't know what that's called. That's definitely what I want to do.
It's called good leadership, I think. Like
Oh,
looking
thank you.
back and making sure that like everyone makes it up the mountain that wants to take the trail.
Yeah.
Um, and seeing that need for people that have a tendency to like pour out of their cup until it's empty, and kind of teaching people how to not do that.
It's like they are such amazing leaders for a reason. They're in those positions for a reason. And if we're not just like teaching them how to cycle this experience, it will deplete them. And I don't want that to happen. But so yeah, that's probably what I'm doing right now is just like I'm an education systems person. I like making things to help people. And if I'm not doing that, I literally sit and I'm like, who am I?
Well, that's very helpful. What would you say is what would you say that right now, like if someone wanted to bring value to you, to your space, what would you say you are, I don't like the words looking for right now, but how does someone bring you value?
Ooh, that is such a great question. One that I have actually not thought on too much. I think a lot of it's because like I have been blazing trails as I've been going the last couple of years. So I think I might have learned to not like need anything from anybody, which sounds terrible. I don't recommend doing that. Oh, what do I need from other people? Honestly, I think I really just need people that want to show up, you know? I think going through all these different avenues and trails and experiences and adventures that I've met a lot of different kinds of people. And the ones that I love spending time with are the ones that really just want to show up. It's not even about them aligning with what I think I need or what they think they need. It's that, like, I just want to be around people that know what they want. And they're just like, this is what I'm going after. Because the thing that fills my cup the most is being able to help people that show up. So I'm just like, great, send me people who show up so I can help them because that's what makes me happy. um, but I mean, yeah, I feel like that's like my official position in everything is I'm a helper. I want to help. And I don't have a specific outline of how that benefits me, but I'm okay with that right now.
Well, and things are karmic, you like
Yeah. I need karma points. Can you send me karma points? Can we get those? Anybody have any karma points? I would like those, please.
um, that's awesome. Well, and I think that there is a piece of us that, I don't know if it's we're women or we're moms but we kind of just want everyone around us to succeed. And I think the hardest part is seeing people's potential, but their unwillingness to like walk into that space. And so I also get very excited that like people not only show up and ask for the advice, but they'll actually do it.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yes, that is very,
Well,
it's a very rewarding feeling.
that's probably why you started this podcast.
Yes.
You're just like, I just want to help people. I want them to succeed. I want to bring amazing things into their life.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
introduce them to cool people, because I think my favorite thing about real estate is that I've met the most diverse, cool people ever.
Yeah. All different kinds of people, all different kinds of goals, all different walks of life. Like and and you know, you make me remember like probably my most favorite thing about being in groups that show up is that it is community over competition. Like it is collaboration over competition. It is so addicting to be in these with these people that are also in your space, but everyone's like, it's a blue ocean. You know, we've all got it's just plenty here. plenty to share, plenty to look forward to. You know, it's so addicting to be with people like that. That's why I love hanging out with you so much. Is you're always just like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this thing. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's showing up. It's amazing. And then she's like, I want to go do this other thing too. I'm like, yeah, you should go do that other thing too.
Yes. And you've helped me remove some of this shiny object syndromes, but I'm very much like you. And I think that sometimes, first of all, earlier when you were speaking, I think sometimes it's okay to just say you're unemployable. I'm completely unemployable.
I am. I'm leaning into that truth of my life. And you
Yeah,
feel that way too.
I do. And some of it is because every day, if I want to try something new or I'm going to do something new, I just try it and it's okay. And I might fail and I might not like it. That's okay. We just keep going.
Engagement. You just engage and you're like, oh, this is how I feel about this. Moving on.
Yes. Yes.
What was one of those things you feel like you just recently did that you were like trying it out? Just
Oh,
trying it out.
wholesaling.
Oh, you were doing wholesaling?
I was. Well, when we work the transactions, we see what wholesalers make. And so I was like, I mean, I could probably do this. I'll just stick in my space.
What made you realize you didn't want to do that no more?
So I get overly committed to sellers. Even as a transaction coordinator, I am way too emotionally involved. And so I literally have a transaction right now that I wholesaled probably back in last September. I hear from the seller once a month. Like we talk on the phone every single month.
Okay, so if I need somebody to be a seller's BFF, I need to call Amanda. She's got that in her pocket.
I do. Let's all sing Kumbaya by the fire. Everything's good. Yes, that's my superpower.
Yeah. Oh, but like what a testament to like the kind of quality level with relationships that you build. I bet you that's one of the things that makes you such an amazing TC is that you prioritize those relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That'd be really good. But I can understand why wholesaling might be a little bit of a challenge.
It is. It is. And then sometimes deals like we had one deal like there was mold in the basement because they turned off the power. So the sub pump. And like I literally cried on the phone with the seller when we had to cancel the contract because I knew they're in a terrible, like the whole reason we do what we do is because we're trying to help people and we literally couldn't help. And I like felt as bad as they did. And I was just like, this is not the space for me.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I'd be able to do that either. I mean, I've cried. I've had instances with sellers, like maybe not mold in the basement level stuff, but definitely where like, we had a seller who was going to be homeless if we didn't close on this certain date. And they had like no money. They literally had nowhere to go. And you make magic happen when you really care about people. But you got to be careful with it because if you're in the wrong seat on the bus, that could be very detrimental to lots of other things.
100%. Yes, we should not be making acquisition choices based off of our emotional attachments.
Nope. Yeah, I know my spot. Stay in my spot over here.
Yes, I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Do you have any last message I do want to put out there? I think everyone should follow you on social media. I think that your information is gold.
Oh,
Share. And so, but do you have anything else you want to add?
this is for like new entrepreneurs and stuff, but I think a lot of it is that it's like one thing I wish people would have told me when I first started this whole thing was that the grind hustle culture and mentality isn't necessarily true. It's really more about the intentionality of why you're doing what you're doing. Because somebody who shows up and they're really intentional with their energy or intentional with their time, they will get so much farther in a shorter amount of time than someone who's just showing up with no intentionality or no direction or, and they're just grass in the wind. so to say. So that's just one thing where I'm like, I've been trying really hard to share that part of this whole thing with people, especially maybe on my social media a little less lately. But that's just one thing I always want to tell people is it's just like when I started, people were like, if you don't work 16-hour days, you don't want it bad enough. And I'm just like, no, I know why I'm here. I know why I want it. And I'm being intentional. And and it worked. So that would be the thing I would tell everybody is get you some clarity. It'll change your life.
It will. And then when you're honed in, you're more like a sniper. So you're accomplishing more than if you have buckshot going everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's like when you're not that precise with your clarity and what you're doing and what you're trying to hit, if you do take a shot, you know exactly what you need to adjust to change it to hit closer to where you want to go. But if you're doing the buckshot, you're just like, where was I aiming exactly? It went everywhere. So that's a great analogy. I might have to steal that one.
Have at it. All right. Well, thank you for your time today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Amanda.